So, good morning, everyone. Uh, Earlier we did the four terms, okay, factor income, transfer income, domestic territory, and normal resident. Now we will come to the numerical part, okay. Not exactly numerical, but the formulas, okay. There are three formulas which are very important, okay, for all the three methods which we will be doing further, okay. Now, the first thing which we have to see, the first formula is, see here before explaining the formula, uh, I must tell you that there are few terms which we have to interchange while uh, calculating the national income. Okay, while calculating the national income, we have to change few terms. Okay, we have to interchange the few terms. So we will see those terms and the formula or how we can change those terms. We will see this thing. Okay, so now the first thing is gross and net. The first term is gross and net. Okay, now what is the gross and net? Okay, gross value and net value. What is the gross value and net value? Okay, let's see with the help of an example. Suppose I purchased a phone in 2020, okay, at a price of rupees 10,000. Okay, and now in 2023, okay, the price of that phone will not be the same. Okay, the phone which I purchased in 10,000 rupees, the phone in 2023 will, the price of that phone will not be the same. It will decrease. Okay, so say now at present the price of the phone is rupees 3,000. Okay, so in 2020 I purchased the phone in rupees 10,000, and now if I find the price, actual price in 2023, then the price will be 3,000. Okay, so this price, the initial price at which I purchased the phone, this is called gross value. Okay, and the present price, the price in 2023, it will be called net value. Okay, and the difference between these two, gross and net, what is the difference between these two? Let me make it clear once. Now I purchased the phone at rupees 10,000 and now the price is rupees 3,000. So there is a difference of 7,000. Okay, so now this 10,000 will be its gross value, okay, when I purchased this phone in 2020, and now the actual value of the phone in 2023 is 3,000. So there is a difference of 7,000. So this 10,000 will be called gross value and this 3,000 will be called net value. Okay, and this 7,000, the difference of 7,000 will be called depreciation. Okay, the difference of 7,000 will be called depreciation because the value has decreased. The value of that phone has decreased because of the usage, okay, and because of the obsolete of technology and all, because of the wear and tear of the phone and many other reasons. So the initial price is called gross value and the value after depreciation is called net value, and the difference between these two is called depreciation. Okay, so now the main thing which we have to understand is, in exam, in your question, you will be given gross value and you have to find net value. Okay, in your question, in your exam, gross value will be given and you have to convert that gross value into net value. So how you will convert? So from, if we have to convert gross into net, if we have to convert gross value into net value, then we have to minus the depreciation, we have to subtract the depreciation. Okay, and if we have to convert net value into gross value, So we have to add the depreciation. So this is how we can convert, we can interchange the values or the terms. We can interchange the terms by using this. So this is our first formula, we can say. Okay, what is the formula? Of the formula is of converting gross into net and net into gross value. Okay, so here I've written here, you can see this, gross equals to net plus depreciation. If we have to convert net into gross, okay, we have to convert this net into gross value, then what we will do, we will add the depreciation. If we have to convert gross into net value, what we will do, we will subtract the depreciation. Okay, so by this flowchart we can easily understand this formula. So if we have to go from, or if we have to convert gross into net, what we have to do, we have to minus the depreciation. And we have to convert net into gross, then what we have to do, we have to depreciate, we have to add the depreciation. Okay, so this is the first formula, gross and net. Okay, now the second formula is factor cost and market price. The second formula is factor cost and market price. So these are the two terms, okay, and the formula as well. So what do you mean by factor cost? Factor cost means in Hindi we say it karak lagat. Okay, it is the cost of production. If I am producing something, if I am producing I'm manufacturing candle, okay, so I am selling that candle in rupees 2 rupees or 5 rupees, say I am selling one candle in rupees 5, and my cost of production will be 2 rupees. So that cost of production will be called factor cost. Okay, the expenditure incurred in producing a good is called factor cost. Okay, goods बनाने में जो खर्चा लगता है उसे बोलते हैं हम that is called factor cost. Okay, now what is market price? The selling price, the price at which the good is being sold in the market. What is market price? The price of goods and services which is being sold in the market. It is also known as selling price. बाजार में जिस प्राइस में बिक रहा है goods, that is called market price. Okay, so now we have to convert, again this is our formula number 2. Okay, so we have to convert market price into factor cost and factor cost into market price. So what we will do, if we have to convert market price into factor cost, we will add NIT. What is NIT? I will explain it later on. So if we have to convert factor cost into market price, then we will add NIT. If we have to convert market price into factor cost, we have to subtract the NIT. Okay, now let's see what is NIT. So NIT means net indirect tax. NIT means net indirect tax. And what is in NIT? What is the formula? IT minus subsidy. Means if I am making a good, a product at rupees 8, okay, and I am selling that at rupees 10, so this will be my factor cost and this will be my market price. Okay, and I am spending 8 rupees for producing that product and I am selling at rupees 10. Okay, now the difference between these two is rupees 2. So this is not profit. Okay, this is not the profit, this is the NIT. Okay, this is NIT, net indirect tax. Means company has to pay the taxes. Okay, every firm has to pay the taxes, whichever whatever the firm is making, he has to pay the taxes on that particular good or service. But the firm receives subsidies also. The firm receives subsidy also. So that indirect tax is added and subsidies are subtracted. So through that we get NIT, net indirect tax. So if we want to convert factor cost into market price, then what we have to do, we have to add the NIT. Okay, when we are converting factor cost into market price, then we have to add the NIT, and if we have to do reverse, then we have to subtract the NIT. So sometimes NIT is not given directly. Sometimes in your exam NIT is not given directly to you. So what you will do, you have to search for IT and you have to search for subsidies. So what you will do, you will do IT minus subsidy, and by this you will get NIT, and then you will add and subtract the NIT for finding the or for conversion of factor cost and market price. Okay, so this was our second formula, factor cost and market price. Okay, now our third formula is uh, domestic and national. Our third formula is domestic and national. So here we can see domestic means घरेलू, okay, national means राष्ट्रीय. Okay, let's see what is domestic and let's see an example here. Okay, so here let me explain here. Okay, suppose this is India. Okay, this is India. So domestic means within the Indian territory, within the Indian territory. So say for example there are some Indians who are working here, some Indians, okay, some Indians, and there might be some foreigners as well. There might be some foreigners as well who are working. Let's say these are the foreigners, equal to are the foreigners. So let me clear it again. So this is India. These circles are the Indians working in India. Okay, and there are some foreigners who are working in India. Okay, so what does domestic means? Domestic income. I said domestic income. Okay, so the money earned, the factor income earned within the domestic territory. Okay, the money income earned, the factor income earned within the domestic territory of a country. So this is the domestic territory of a country, no matter who earns it. Okay, in domestic income we don't see who is earning, whether it is Indian or foreigner, doesn't matter, but the income is earned within the domestic territory. That income will be called domestic income. If the income is earned within the domestic territory, no matter who has earned the income, Indian or foreigner, doesn't matter, but that income is earned within the domestic territory of India, then that income will be called domestic income. Okay, now there might be some foreigners, there might be some Indians working abroad, there might be some Indians working abroad. So if we have to find the national income, what we have to do, we have to add the NFIA, net factor income from abroad, means domestic income plus the income earned by Indians. Domestic income plus income earned by Indians working abroad. So Indians who are working in India plus Indians who are working abroad, income of these two will be counted as national income. So in national income we count the income of Indians only, not of the foreigners. Okay, we count the income of Indians, no matter where they are earning, in India or outside India, doesn't matter. But the thing is, in national income, while calculating to find the national income, we have to we have to sum up the incomes of Indians earning their income in India or outside India. Okay, but in domestic income we have to count the income within the domestic territory, no matter who is earning, whether Indian or foreigner. So there is a basic difference, there is a one difference between the national and domestic income, and that is, in domestic income we see the a particular boundary of a country. We count the income which is within the boundary of a country, no matter who is earning, Indian or foreigner. But in national income, we see the person who is earning. Okay. In domestic territory, we see the boundary. Within the boundary, if the income is earned within the boundary, that income will be called domestic income, no matter who is earning. But in national income, we see the person. Okay, it is Vyakti Vishesh. National income is regarding Vyakti Vishesh, means we see the person who is earning, whether it is Indian or foreigner. So we add the income of Indians only. But doesn't matter where he is earning, whether he is earning in India or outside India, doesn't matter. But it should be Indian only. So all Indians who are working in India and abroad, their income will be called national income. Okay, let's make it simple. All Indians, those who are working in India and as well as abroad, so their income will be called national income. Okay, but all Indians and foreigners who are earning in India, their income will be called domestic income. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to convert this thing, okay, from domestic to national. So if we have to convert domestic to national, we have to add the NFIA. Okay, what is NFIA? I will tell you later on. So if we have to convert domestic into national, so we have to add the NFIA. And if we have to convert national into domestic, then we have to subtract the NFIA. Okay, so these are the three formulas which we have to use, which we will be using while calculating the national income. Okay, now what is NFIA? Let's see here. See, NFIA means net factor income from abroad. It means net factor income from abroad. And what is the formula here? Factor income received minus factor income paid to abroad. Okay, what is the formula? Sometimes NFIA is not given to you directly. Okay, so what you have to search? You have to search for factor income received minus factor income paid. So by subtracting these, you will get NFIA, and through NFIA you can find the domestic and national. Okay, so these three were the basic formula for conversion. Okay, domestic and national, factor cost and market price, and gross and net value. Okay, so for gross and net, you have to subtract and depreciation. For factor cost and market price, you have to use NIT, and for domestic and national, you have to use NFIA. Okay, so these were the three main formulas, and in the next class we will see how to convert. We will actually see the conversion, how we will convert these three into one another. Okay, so thank you so much for this.